Hello friends, I am Vikram from eZeon Technologies. Welcome to my Spring Framework project work series. In my previous video session, I discussed about preparing the dashboard for admin and general user. Now, in this current video, I am going to talk about the login form and complete the login operation. So let's begin. So this is the third step I am going to cover here in this video. So this is login form along with the command, and I will be using here form tag library, which is powered by the Spring MVC framework. So let's begin from the login form. So come to the code, and in this index page I will create my login form here. So look at this, we have done here to do, so we can write here form. So let's start. So this is the heading for this form, so I'm going to use here h3. This is h3 and this is my login form. So it's a user login, I should call it. It's a user login, right? Just a moment, let's try this. And this is my index page. It's a default page, user login form I'm going to design here. And to design the user login form, we need to use here form tag library, which is provided by the Spring MVC framework. So before that, we need to create a command, because Spring framework, Spring form tag library support command based login operations, command based form handling. So we can create a command to work with the login form. So this is my command package, and create here user command. So this is my not user command, it's a login command. So simple login command I'm using, and this command is a POJO class which is communicating with the form. So you can take the data from controller to the JSP or controller to the view through this command, and you can take the data from view to the controller. So from controller to command, you can see like this, something like this. What is the role of the command here? Look at this. So you have controller and you have this view. So this is your view, and here in this view you have forms, and here you have controller, and in between command is working here. So this is the command, right? And this command is taking your data from controller to this side. So you can take some data from controller to the form, and you can take the data in this direction from your form to the controller. So when you need to take the data from controller to form, when you have been doing some edit operation, while form edit view. So when you open a form with the existing detail in an edit mode, you will take the data from controller to the view, and this can be done by the command can carry the data here. And similarly, when you submit a form with the entered values in the form, so those details will be taken back to the controller using this. So while submitting the form to save or update data, right? So when you want to submit the form to save some data or to update some data, you have to take the data from this direction, from form to the controller, and this will be your while edit operation, the data will be taken from the controller to the form, right? So this is what the role of this controller, what is the role of this is what the role of the command, right? Now this is correct. Okay, so come back to this, and here we required here two properties, just like your two fields in form. So we required here username, or you can say this is your login name, and another is password, and these are the private properties generally. So just make it private, and create getter and setters. So my tool is capable to generate a lot of code for me. So now I'm going to use this command So this is user service, not this. This is user controller. Okay, so here I'm going to use this model. You need to bind your command, then only it is accessible in JSP page. So this is model object. So this model will be taken from the UI model package. So this is the right package. So Spring Framework UI model, correct. Now you bind your command here, model dot add attribute, and let me call this to a command, and the object will be login command. So this is now accessible in your JSP page. So if you write any if you want to store some data in this command object, if you want to set some default values in this login command, you can do that, which is now visible in view. Okay, so this is ready here, and now come back to the form. So here I'm going to create a form using Spring tag library. So import that tag library here. Can you see that? So I have already imported here two tag libraries. One for this I'm using generally URL tag from this Spring tags, and this is your form tag library, right? And one more tag library I will use here, which is a core library. So in this particular video I'm not using this core library, but these two will be used here, right? So come to this, it is already imported. Now you need to create here a form f colon using the form tag library. Now write here this action, and method, it is not necessary to pass here method, because the default method is a post method when you are using the Spring tags like Spring forms. And now you have to tell here model attribute, which is linking this form with the controller, and I have given the command name here. What is that name here? Command, right? So this command name you have to use in your form attribute. So model attribute is a command. In old version of Spring MVC this was actually command name, but in latest version we call it model attribute. So no problem. And now I have to prepare the URL here. So this is Spring colon URL tag, and tell the variable and value. So what is the value here? So this is value is login. Let's say the URL is login, and I call it URL. This is for login. Okay, now I prepare this and pass to this action. Okay, this is ready. I have got this form, and now let me create a form using the table. So this is the table, and it's a border size 1, and add here td tr then td, right? So here I'm going to add one field. This is username, and here you have to add form colon input, and you need to tell the path. Just a moment. Path is representing your field. So this is your login name we have given. So this login name is a property in your command class, right? So where is the command? So this property belongs to this login command, this login name, right? And now second field is, let me copy these two. This is password, and this is your password field, right? And this password field is your second property in login command, right? Okay, now I required here this, just let me add one button here to submit the form. So this is my button. So this button is a submit button, and I call it login, and just I want to merge both the columns, call span 2, and the alignment will be right align. Align will be right. This is correct. and just below that button I'm going to add one hyperlink for new registration. So a anchor tag and href. I will add this link in next discussion. So this will be your new user registration link, right? So I will come back here and continue this, but this is enough. Now my form will be submitted to a URL called login. So let's check this first. So refresh this page. Okay, I could see this form here. I could see the form, and here I need to add one line break. Just a moment. It's a line break. Okay, great. So I have got this login button. Enter the details, username and password, then submit, right? So when you submit this page, your request will be sent to the login URL, and there is no such mapping for the login URL. That's why I could see here 404 status. Okay, no problem. We have to work for this. So here I'm going to add a mapping, and let me call this handleLogin. So handleLogin, and the URL will be, just a moment, and the URL is login, and one more argument I'm going to add here. The method will be, the request method will be, HTTP request method will be here post method, because if you are using get method in your form, the data will be, the username password will be visible on the URL, so that is not good for the security. So just use here post method. So the details will be taken here, and the complete details will be available here in the form of model attribute. So just do one thing. I'm going to use one annotation here, @model attribute. And what is the command name you have done there? So the name is command, and the complete form will be, the form data will be available here using this login command. So this is your command, right? Now who is calling this handleLogin method? Front controller. Dispatcher servlet is working at the front, who will receive my request and then read the data from the parameters, so request parameters, then bind both the parameters, login name and password, in this login command object. Then that login command object will be given to the controller method, because this method is called by front controller. So the argument login command will be supplied by the front controller, and it's a great job done by the front controller, because it is binding all the values, it is retrieving the data from the request parameters, binding to the command object, and the same command is given to me, so that I can directly use that command, ready to use command, you can say, right? So I have got this here, login command is ready, and now it's time to invoke your service logic. It's time to invoke your business method. So because the business method will take care of the login operation by checking your username password from the database, right? So in my previous video we have prepared a login service, user service, just dependency you have to add here. So this is my user service dependency. I'm going to inject through the auto wire, right? So I have got this. So this user service will be injected in my user controller, and I can call the method here login method. Just have a look at this. It's a user service dot, just call this login method, right? And look at the description. This is the description I have added here. So this is the login method returning user and taking login name and password as argument and throwing one user blocked exception. Great, we have done this job. So and look at the description. This is the description I have added in Java documentation, right? It's a very good habit. Now call that method here login and pass the username and password, and username and password can be taken from your, this is login name, and this command has password. Okay, now what is the return type of this login method? User, right? So I will get here user. So this is your user. So this is logged in user, I'm assuming that user is logged in and I have got this object. So this is your domain object, right? And look at this, there is user blocked exception thrown by this method, so you need to use here try catch block. So surround statement with the try catch block, this is correct. And I have to do here a lot of checking. If the user account is blocked, you have to add one error message. So where you can add this error message, you can add here model. So let's take here model also, this is model M, and add that error message m dot error, not this. So this is your error, and the error is taken from this ex dot get message, right? So this is the error message, user blocked exception is generated by us, and that exception will be cached here, and the message will be taken from the exception object, and it is added in your model so that it can be accessed from your JSP. So whatever the details you are adding in the model is accessible in your JSP directly. So this is ready, and you need to go back to the form. So where is your form? This index page will be your JSP. So I have actually login form here. So index page is my actually login form, right? So I should write here add error message and go back to form. So actually it is login form because the operation is failed and you have to go to the page, right? I will show you how to access this error message in JSP, but before that I have to let me complete this. So now I have two conditions here. If this logged in user object is null, means the details entered by user is incorrect. So let me check that. So if this logged in user equals to null, means I have to again go back to the login form with the error message. So write this, copy paste this, and if it is null, I'm going to add here again error message. This is login failed, enter valid credentials. This is the error message, and you have to go back to the form, right? So if it is null, means user supplied wrong details, else you have to check this. Else means now this is your success part and this is your failed part, login failed, and this is login success. So when user is successfully logged in, now it's time to check the role and navigate user to a appropriate user dashboard or admin dashboard. So now it's time to check the role. So what we have to do here, check the role and redirect to a appropriate dashboard. So do one thing, you can check the role here. So I'm going to check here, this is user logged in, this is a logged in user, it's a logged in user dot get role, and if the role is equals to user service, I have one constant for this, dot role admin. So when the role is admin, you have to go to the admin page. So let me redirect user. So to redirect, you have to use this redirect prefix, and now you have to go to the what is the pattern we are using here. So when it is admin, so the request will be redirected to admin slash dashboard, right? Similarly, I'm going to use here else if. One more condition I'm adding here, and this is what I'm going to do. Just a moment. If the role is general user, I will redirect user to the different page. So this is user dashboard. Go to the user dashboard because it is a general user role, and go to the admin dashboard because it is a admin login. Okay, now if I get something else in the role, then I'm going to add one error message because there is no such role present. So add this. Just a moment, let me format it properly. So add one error message and go back to the form, and you should add error message and go back to the form, and this error message is your invalid user role. Say wrong role because there is no such role. So along with this error message we will go back to the index page, right? So this is the complete flow taken care by the controller. So controller, the meaning of controller is controlling the activity. So here it is controlling your operations and preparing the flow of the overall business. So this is a lot of conditions I have added here. This is all about the business flow preparation and deciding the appropriate view and preparing the error messages correctly, right? So let's check this operation, and let's try this. Go back to the form, refresh the page here. Sometime your changes are not applied by this tool, so what you can do, you can do the clean and build and re-execute this, redeploy the whole project and check it. So I'm doing here clean and build. Just wait for some few seconds. It is supposed to complete. Okay, running my test. Okay, it's build successful, there is no problem. Now just run it. Just a moment. Okay, this is a new page. Okay, it is loaded here. I'm going to use here username and password, and just do one thing. Come to the database here. This is my MySQL workbench, and check the user table here. So inside this user table you can see this Vikram, and the login name is V, password is V123, and role is 2. 2 means general user. Okay, and the status is it is 2. 2 means blocked. Okay, so ideally I should use here 1. 1 means active. So I'm going to test the successful case first time. So username is V and password is V123, and this is a correct user, and you should be taken to the dashboard. Correct, right? So this is, look at this, this is your user dashboard. You have been redirected to the user dashboard because you are a correct user. And now go back and check the wrong detail here. So let me do something wrong here, and look at this. You came back to this page, right? Look at this. It is not taking you to the dashboard because you have entered wrong details now, but it is not showing the error message, right? So let me do that quickly. It's very simple. So go to the index page here, and you can display the error message just below the page form heading. So here I'm going to add C:if, just write one small condition, and this is your test. And do one thing, this is your message you have added there, right? Error message. So this is error does not equals to null. Add one error message in the paragraph, and whatever the error present in error attribute will be displayed here. So try one thing, just type the wrong detail, and look at the problem here. The password is visible. Oh, do one thing, I made a small mistake. It should be your password field. Okay, fine, not a problem. Just do one thing, open the form and enter the details here. This is V and this is V123. Now it is showing star. This is correct, masking the characters. And you can see the user dashboard. Go back to the form, enter wrong details, submit this. Look at this, login failed, enter valid credentials. I could see the message here. This is correct, but let me add here the message in red color. So just add one class. We have prepared one class for this error. So this is the error class. This will display the error message in red color. Okay, now this is correct. So when you provide wrong details, you will be taken back to the login form with the error message, right? So let me enter the admin. Let me check the admin also. So who is administrator here? So this Amit is your administrator, right? Amit is administrator because the role 1 represents admin and 2 represents general user. So the username for Amit is Amit and the password is Amit123. Just a moment. This is Amit and this is Amit123. Just submit this. What is wrong? This is admit, not this. This is Amit and Amit123. Okay, try this. Okay, I could see here this admin dashboard page here because Amit is an administrator. So this is correct. Go back here and let me show you that blocked condition. I'm going to block this general user and let me block by changing the status to. So login status 2 represents blocked. So apply this. Okay, just finish and let me retry to login from this V and V123 and look at this. Your account has been blocked. Contact to administrator, right? So all these cases are working fine. So this is all done from here, but I required some more changes. So here we have to do one important thing here. So this is, I'm going to write here to do add user detail in session, ultimately assign session to logged in user. This is the job pending. I will cover up in next video session, and here also I have to do the same job. So here admin details will be added in session scope, and here the general user details will be added in session scope, right? So this is enough discussion for this current video, and in next video I will talk about the more operations which is pending in this area. And what is pending, can you see that? So I cover up this part also, displaying the error message properly using core tag library, and this is pending and this is pending. These 2 points are still pending here. So thank you very much for watching, and if you have not subscribed my videos, don't forget to subscribe because you will get a lot of updates from my channel continuously. I'm regularly working in this area, and thanks a lot. See you in next video.